boy, we're so excited to have you all across the United States and around the world. Thank you to all of you from Australia that are listening to American news and prophetic analysis here on the Lance Wallnau Show. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave your comments. We're always interested in what you have to say. We have today's going to be a very interesting show. I see Mercedes Sparks is here joining me on the left with a hat. And this is part of our merchandising that we're doing shamelessly. Mm-hmm. But what is that hat? He's got. It says Lance Wallnau Show. What's underneath that?
Well, we added it with Mercedes Sparks.
With Mercedes Sparks?
Yes.
Is that on your hat?
Yeah, I had Chelsea make me one special. So now I have one for me, my mom, and my aunt. Well, I'll wear it.
Are they being Well, yes, you can get your don't forget, you can get your merch there at lancewallnau.com/merch. And that's where you can get your, also your Mercedes Sparks.
Mm-hmm.
With.
Well, Chelsea said she added it to, well, here's the thing. I don't want to, to me, it's a gag. It's just a joke. It's like just to play with you. But there are people in the comments sometimes who are like, she's taking over the show. Blah, 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 blah,
oh, I know.
So I just don't want, to add to that narrative and that psychosis. But I've decided if it is on the show, how much do we give off now the thing we do with the merch is if you show up to an event, on our event table where we're selling product.
That's right. You get
10% off.
10% off if you got the merch on. You can't buy the merch and then get 10% off. You have to be coming up with the merch.
So I'm thinking I'm going to do, if you come up with the Mercedes Sparks hat on, you get 15% off.
Whoa! Oh. This is getting out of control, people. This is live podcasting at its most vulnerable.
I'm just joking.
Which Shirley, oh, you're joking? Well, let me go into the Biden press conference. The Washington Correspondents' Dinner is always a highlight in Washington. It was kind of an awkward thing. I guess they didn't do it. I don't know if they did it with Trump because of COVID. They didn't have it, which was happy for them because nobody in the Washington press corps. I mean, who wants to go into that environment anyway? It was like swimming with the piranhas. Yeah. But the comedy writers, like I love comedy and I love good comedy writing. And it's one of the few times when good writing can give you a self-deprecating moment for a president to poke fun at themselves. They're not witty enough to write these lines, but they deliver them and get credit for them. And I thought Trevor Noah was part of I guess it was him and his team was helping Biden with his script. But here's what they came up with for some of Biden's Saturday night lines, which worked with the crowd. There he said, "A special thanks," Biden said, "to the 42% of you that actually applauded." He said, "I'm really excited to be here tonight with the only group of Americans that have lower approval ratings than me," which is the press. And let's see. And a shot at Jen Psaki. Noah says, "If it's true, Jen, that you're moving on to MSNBC, well, that's a big career change. But switching to MSNBC is going to be a big change for you right now from your current job, because your current job is to make the Biden administration look as good as possible at all costs. And now that you're going to MSNBC, you're going to have to, no, you'll be fine, actually, because they go out of their way to try and make Biden look good at all costs, including at the price of,
Did you hear he went after DeSantis, too? Like, he did a whole DeSantis bit, like DeSantis was in the audience. It was super awkward.
But was DeSantis there?
No. But he did this whole bit of like, if Trump is the Terminator, then DeSantis is like the next version of the Terminator. I don't know what that is. Carl probably knows. Yeah. But he did a whole bit and he kept like pointing in the audience like DeSantis was there. And then like DeSantis did a press conference the next day and he's like, "I would never go to this. Like, this was so awkward. I'd never be there." Like, I don't know if you saw it or not, but
that tells you that the enemy of the media mind moldy spirit is DeSantis. It's almost prophetic. They're telling you that's what they perceive to be their biggest threat, not Trump. But there's a great moment when Donald Trump was in the audience and he was being viciously singled out for an attack at the Washington press dinner here. And it was before he decided to run. And it's a very telling moment, because they just took a stab at him like the biggest joke in the room wasn't going to be anything they said. It would be Donald Trump thinking he could ever be president. And you see him just looking at him with this cold look. And they said that was the moment that Trump made the internal decision. Let's see about that. It was like he was mulling over whether he'd run, and that indignity pushed him one step into the direction of, let's see what happens if I run.
Wow.
And it's kind of an interesting thing. But there was an awkward moment there because as they ended the evening, Noah says, "Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you. Please be careful leaving tonight. We all know this administration doesn't handle evacuations very well."
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
that was funny.
we all know this administration doesn't handle evacuations well.
Yep.
That's, you know what? It's kind of like Bill Maher. We have to live through 75% of what they say to get the 25% we like,
Wow.
and then we share it around with each other like they weren't enemies of the state. But so be it. It's good to see those moments of civility that remind us that we all share the common humanity that comedy itself can provide a link to every now and then. And with that thought in mind, I'd like to go to something that is on everyone's mind right now, and it is what's going on with this Roe v. Wade situation. And the reason why it's important is because what we're watching is a historical shift where problems that cannot be solved at the federal level are being inevitably turned back to the states. The genius of the founders was that they created a system where the states, when functioning properly within the framework they were given, can actually become what's called the laboratory of democracy, where states practice what works and learn from each other in the laboratory what policies work and what policies don't work. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed what you've heard so far. This is just a segment out of our entire podcast, but I'd love to give you access to the entire broadcast, and it's going to be at lancewallnau.com/podcast. Go there, and you can sign up and get the entire unedited, uncensored message. You know, I wrote a book, and I talked about Haggai, the prophet, talking about God is going to shake all the nations, including economic systems. And then just recently, I got challenged by a verse. It says, "The silver is mine and the gold is mine." And I began to think, you know what? I'd hate to find out there was a promise and a warning here on silver and gold, and I never even thought about it. And that's the reason why I want you guys to do something right now. You want to get a 20-page special report on silver and gold. Go to lancewallnau.com/Birch, because Birch Gold is one organization that is being used by a lot of very credible people right now in order to position themselves with silver and with gold. You need to now start to look into this and learn what it is that maybe God was trying to say, that the silver is mine and the gold is mine. Go to lancewallnau.com/Birch and find out for yourself.